Hey guys, it's Jovi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How are y'all all doing today? I hope y'all are having a fabulous Sunday. I know I am. I cannot wait to get into our topic today. It's going to be amazing. We have a special guest coming up in just a moment. And I'm excited. So the maintenance before we begin. Again, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow us on our social media platform. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. Please follow. Please subscribe. Okay, guys, y'all already know the vibes. Go ahead and follow me on my other social media platforms where I post the pretty pictures. Okay, go to my website, jovibeauty.com, to get you one of our pieces of merch, including the beautiful scarf that I'm wearing today. Last but certainly not least, don't forget, you can always do what? Donate to the channel. It is thoroughly appreciated. All donations help us. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon to everybody. So we have our special guest in the back. She's going to be up in a second, but before she comes up, I got this little video that I put together. It's only about 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to play the video, and then our guest will be coming up to tell y'all about her experiences living her life like it's golden. Okay, that's what she's doing. All right, so let me play this video, and like I said, when we come back, we will be here. Hey guys, hello Malaceo, how are you doing?
Hey, how are y'all? I'm Malaceo. I'm happy to be here.
So I'm so happy that you contacted me and that you offered to come up and explain to the ladies your situation, why you live abroad. Can you tell the people where you live right now?
Right now I'm in Osaka, Japan.
Okay, so let me ask you, what made you decide to, can you tell us a bit about yourself first, and what made you decide to move to Asia right now?
Well, to super summarize it, I guess you could say that like my life was falling apart per se. There was things going on with my family. I just like filed for divorce, and I just kept on trying to work on how am I going to stay in the US? How am I going to work? Like I've done everything right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got the degree. I became debt free. Got married. Like I was trying to do everything that I was supposed to be doing, and all I did was work,
Yeah.
and things just was falling apart, and it just came to the situation where I was like, you know what? It might be crazy, but let me do what I actually want to do. And that is to in the traveling world, we call it slow travel, where you go from country to country and you pretty much stay out your visa. So for
Mhm.
Americans, it's like maybe 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Um, so that's pretty much how long I spend in each country before I move on. But I was like, if it's not working here, then why stay? Why do all this sacrificing and keep on trying to press myself to do something and to be somewhere if it's not working out? And I feel
Yeah.
like for a lot of Black women, I feel like we have this phrase, and I'm part of Exodus Summit, but
Mm-hmm.
they have this phrase. It's like, if things are things falling apart, or are they coming together? It's your perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I do. I slow travel. So I was in Vietnam February
Okay.
for like 3 months, and then I came to Japan. So this is my sabbatical time, so my vacation time. I'm not really working or doing
Mhm.
anything right now because it's like a dream vacation type of situation for me because my birthday was in May.
Okay.
And I always wanted to come to Japan even since I was a kid. So right now I'm just sort of like relaxing. I got like a month and some change still in the country, and then my next place will be Thailand.
Ah, excuse me. Okay, so another question.
Hmm.
How different is your life now compared to, well, I guess you kind of answered that. But if you
Hmm.
would go elaborate a little bit more on like how different is your day-to-day life now in
Hmm.
comparison to, I guess, the hustle and bustle of America?
Yeah.
The kill yourself,
Um,
the 9 to 5 kill yourself.
so like when I say kill myself, like I was always, and it's like Black women do it all the time, and it's such a norm for us. Like that constant, oh, you gotta be 2 times, 3 times better than somebody else to get half of what they got. And
Hmm.
even though yes, it's true, does it have to be that way?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. So the main difference, like I'll just have like a little column, I guess, of like what my day-to-day life was for like 10 years. So I pretty much mulled through school. I was still working and going to school. And then I even my internships and stuff when I was in school. So I was always, for the most part, working like 2 jobs
Yeah.
essentially. Almost pretty much my whole 10 years of after I was out of the military, during school, and even afterwards. So that heavy, and then people became like, when they found out that I worked 2 jobs, it was like, really? You're doing that? And God forbid, when I bought a new car, a Hyundai, just because of the color of the car, it was like, oh, you're affording that? Like you're buying that? Like,
Was it
and
red?
even no, it was like they call it glowing yellow.
Ooh, you had one of those.
Hmm.
I like
Oh
that.
yeah, it was a speed demon. That the bitch was cute. She was cute. If you can, yellow is my favorite color. So of course, it was my like dream car. I was like, I've been working. I'm making decent amount of money. Got myself out of like any type of debt and this that, and
Mhm.
the other. I especially during COVID, it's not like we was going anywhere. But
That's true.
I was like, let me just keep it going on this gravy train. And then when people started like, oh, well, why do you have this? And at the point I was married and my husband was an engineer. So that was like, well, why are you working like this? And why are you working hard? And why are you trying to do this? And it's just like this nitpickiness because you want me to be lazy,
Mm,
and you expecting me to be lazy, and you're expecting me to be less than you so you can feel better as a person.
girl,
And
are we getting into that right now?
you asked me, you asked
Listen,
me.
we here for it because it's the truth. It's the truth. A lot.
So that
It's a lot of that in life. So
mhm,
yeah, husbands have a way of dragging you to the pits of hell with them.
yeah.
So did you experience like any sort of culture shock when you first started, your adventure?
Actually, yeah. So Vietnam,
Hmm.
it's like they know of black people. Like I've never been somewhere where they don't even have an opinion of you.
Oh,
Like, oh, okay, you're just a different type of person. That's it. And
oh,
they'll ask you like they don't know anything about like the propaganda and stuff. They might be like, oh, okay, hip hop, but like they don't really understand the language and like a lot of like especially like AAVE, like they
uh-huh.
might be more presented as just like regular American English, but you're getting like the white part of America versus like black Americans.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily get
Who we
exposed to
are.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, you know that you guys are like there and stuff like that. Like, but there is no opinion of you. So even when people like the niceness, the smiling, the hi, the hey, the oh, do you need this? Do you need that? And just people are generally like they'll speak to you
Hmm.
or be like, oh, what is this? What is that? Like they're very inquisitive. And it's not about oh, I'm not. I feel unsafe when you're around,
Around you.
or this um backhanded remarks and stuff like that, or watching you when you go in the store. When I was in Vietnam, that was like pretty. It was like pretty much non-existent. Like even from other people that was tourists,
Hmm. Wow.
which
That's
was crazy to me.
Well, my next question was going to be like, as a black woman, how were you treated there versus the US? But I think you just you just explained
Because
that.
like that's the
So,
main thing. You want to be safe. Like that's the thing. Like that a lot of people. I don't want to say they don't understand it
mm,
because I feel like they do it on purpose so we don't feel safe. But
I think so too. Yeah,
yeah, it's the gaslighting saying that we're making it up and we're putting it on ourselves type of thing. But like I said, there is no opinion of you. So it's just just there, you know,
that
and you
sounds
don't
cool. Yeah.
yeah, I would have never thought, so because you always told, and even when you watch other people that travel, there's people that's like, or even other black content creators, they're like, oh, well, I travel here and I travel there. And that's one thing I do want to tell people is like when you're listening to no matter what their demographic or their background is, white, black, whatever, just sort of think of where they're coming from and
Hmm.
also where they're at. Because a lot of people are saying things, but you're in Europe.
Mm,
You're trying to be in these super luxurious spaces versus being somewhere that's like a coastal city like Da Nang or Hoi An or something like that, where just the culture is way more chiller there because it's like it's a beach city.
yeah.
So everybody's relaxing. Like you're not in the more
Hustle
upper
and bustle.
echelons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let me ask, um, if you don't mind, if you
Hmm.
can tell our audience, what do you do for work and how do you
Hmm.
support yourself overseas? Because a lot of people want to move and everybody isn't necessarily retired and we want to have
Hmm.
some ideas on how do you do it even at a younger age like yourself.
Hmm.
How old are you? I don't think you told
Uh,
the
oh
ladies.
yeah, I'm 34. I
Okay,
just turned
okay.
34.
Okay, girl. All right. So, like, if you don't mind, what do
Hmm.
you do for work and how do you support yourself living overseas? And, like, I guess, what are the prices, if that makes
Yeah.
sense?
So this is something that I do talk about more in depth on my channel because
Mm,
there's layers to it.
okay.
And this is the thing that a lot of the don't tell us, but once again, what you don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah.
what I do interior design. I do have a channel where I present especially Black interior design styles, and I also create 3D um, interiors like home tours.
Okay.
So pretty much I get revenue from that, and then also like I have like add-on products and stuff like that that people can buy, and I also make money from that. And then I have just little jobs and stuff that I do on the side that will add up. So pretty much I get like maybe $1,100, yeah, on average every month at the lowest. So I might get a little bit higher, but especially with me starting my YouTube, it'll be between $1,100 to $1,500. So
That's good.
with that, this is what I have coming in monthly.
Okay.
I saved like $25,000 before I even left the States.
Okay.
And then I put it in a high yield savings account. And then with the high yield savings account, they had like where they gave me $500 more to
Mm-hmm.
keep the money there. And then your money's always growing consistently. So even with that, my money is building up. And also staying under, because here's the thing, I don't know if it's just me, but I think in particular, they sort of direct luxury travel specifically to Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, because even with like the backpacking and the cheap travel and traveling for long periods of time, you don't really see us in those spaces at all. And I've been out here,
Yeah.
like you don't see it. I'm probably the closest thing to it, to be honest. Um, so I do not spend more than $1,000 a month, and that's my phone, that's my internet service, that's my subscriptions, that's how much I pay. It's including my accommodations, and it's including travel, it's including food, all of that. So you do not need, listen, you don't need more than that, especially in Southeast Asia. And then I'm in Japan on top of that. So
And
I
Japan is
might,
expensive in general, but
but that's
it's
the thing.
expensive, but you still $1,100 is crazy.
But it's about where you go, it's
Mm-hmm.
how you're planning things, and it's also being more open to being where the locals are at. Like
Mm.
that's the big thing. Because of tourist spots and being around the tourists, and
They gonna get you.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you think about it, because even with me, one of the biggest differences is that I'm not a morning person. The alarm
I
clock
know.
is
And last time I
like,
spoke to you, you were like, I'm walking around trying to find me a bar. I was like, okay.
yeah, because it's like I can wake up anytime I want to now. So to be honest, I probably gonna go out to find something to do after this. And it's
What
like
time
what?
is it over there? Just so the ladies know.
Right now it's 1:20 in the morning.
Wow. And there's
Yeah,
still things open out? Okay. So I have a
absolutely.
question before we get in, because the girls got a question and I'm gonna let
Mhm.
them get in before. I see your nails. I know, they do the nails.
Oh yeah.
Are those press-ons or is there nail shops over there?
Listen,
Can you get your nails done?
can you get your nails done? The nails is nailing. Like this is now it grew out, so all of this is, I don't know if you can see it, but all of this
Hmm.
is like my natural nail now.
Okay.
But especially in Vietnam, I'll send you some more. I'll send you some more pictures. But how elaborate these designs would be, like 3D,
Mm.
all that type of like the junk nails and stuff, and getting my feet done. Guess how much it was in
That's what I
Vietnam?
want to know. I don't
Guess.
know. Like
Can
40.
you see your chat? Get your chat to
Chat,
answer.
how much do you think Alicia pays for her nails? Please put it in the chat because I'm trying to figure it out because I pay way too much for my nails. One of the girls wanted to know. She said, has she began working there or applied for work? Can you talk about how you're received in a country market much less interested in inclusion than the U.S.? Okay. Well, I think she said it's not what we thought it was going to be. And
Mm-hmm.
she does feel inclusive, because that's why I kind of skipped a couple of my questions, because
Yeah.
it sounds like it's not, it sounds like it's not what we thought it was going to be. My questions was going to I have them written down. I have a question like, do you experience racism or microaggressions abroad? But basically what she's telling me, it doesn't seem like it,
Mm-mm.
right?
No, I
That's
don't. Yeah, the only thing I think that will probably get on other Black people's nerves, because I was talking to my homegirl, and it was like a FaceTime,
mhm.
and she could sort of see other people walking by and just sort of like looking, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that will get on my nerves," and it's like, especially when a lot of these countries are homogenous, like they don't get that many Black people, and like
People
I'm
who
tall for
don't
them,
look
like
like them, whether
yeah,
that's
and I'm
white
5'9".
people, whether that's if you're in Japan, Korean people, just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay. Well, the member asked, she meant workplace, but she works for herself, so she doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
have to deal with
Yeah.
anything like that. Do you know anyone who like works
Mm-hmm.
out there? Because I know you're a part of a group. Could you tell them a little
Yeah.
bit about your group?
So Exodus Summit, they're around 25, 27,000 Black women
Mhm.
specifically. And they have pretty much, it's a pretty big community, but they will pretty much help you from anything from budgeting, like me and Joey was talking on the phone, cleaning out your stuff
Mhm.
and not having all your stuff in storage because you're letting go of all of these physical things to move on to another life, even to starting your own business, getting your first 3 clients, starting YouTube channels, like anything that you can possibly think of
Mhm.
where you think you'll need a base, especially financially.
Mhm.
They have speakers, and these women are professionals in their own right. When I'm talking about like degrees, experiences, psychologists, anything you need. And it's
Okay.
more of a networking type of thing. So you'll do the Exodus Summit, and they have the big one, well, the main one in October.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much like what I've done. And I like pressed the gas and I did all my stuff in a year.
Oh,
So yeah, I hit the ground. I was like, when I was like, I want this divorce. Yeah.
I've been
I was
there.
like, I was like, all I need is that step of approval, girl, and I'm out of here. That's all I needed. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but this is
Okay. Now,
like this, and you
someone in the
see
chat said 120. I don't think so. 120 is here. 120
I
is here.
for a design like that, it'll probably 120 will probably be cheap for that because it's also like 3D design. Then
Okay.
they put rhinestones on like the main 2 fingers, and there's like 9 of them
It's
on
like
each
it's like
fingernail.
the 90s, the early 2000s when they used to
And
do
this
all of
also
that
for my
extra
feet.
stuff.
Also for my feet. My
They
feet was
put
just one
rhinestones on
color.
your feet. Well, here, if you do all of that rhinestones or whatever, you hitting at least $200-$300.
Yeah, easy.
Honestly, easy. Um, well, hold on. I'm going to ask. I'm just looking to see. She said I was going to ask if you have to downsize. Oh, she says I was going to ask if you have to downsize since moving abroad. Do you have less stuff? I would think so.
Well, some people, so that's another thing with Exodus Summit, they're very particular in doing what's right for you.
Hmm.
So it's not a one size fits all. So for me, I knew I wanted to leave and not necessarily come back anytime soon, like maybe
Yeah.
10 years, or to get my passport renewed.
Yeah.
But other people, they will show you and connect you with even like getting a tiny home. Some
Hmm.
people wanted to get an RV. Some people wanted to keep their house and rent it out. So they have people that can help you with that and send you resources if because they're very much on anything that can save you money and or give you a source of income for you
Yeah.
to live your dream. Whatever you have. For me, like I said, I was already divorcing. I was already in the midst of
Getting up out
everything
of
else that
here.
was happening. This is before we got the house. This is before we had the kids. And I was like,
Thank God, girl. You got out.
I was like, listen, I'll bow out gracefully. You don't have to tell me twice. So for me, all I have is literally my suitcase, my book bag, and that's it.
One, you got one check. I don't know if I could do that.
That's what I'm saying. See,
I would need
I
at
can see
least
the
two.
wave of concern coming
I would
over
need at
you.
least two, but
Two what? Like two big bags
too
or
big. Well, maybe a big, a check and then my book bag. I gotta have some shoes. All right, fine, fine. So let me ask, what?
Mhm.
How's dating abroad for you? How's that working out?
See, I don't think so. I'm not trying to date, but dating is trying to date me. If that makes sense. And
Elaborate.
girl, like different countries have different vibes. And especially when my dad, he's like, don't give up on love. And I'm like, don't leave me alone. Get away from me. Like I literally been divorced like I think last week or 2 weeks ago made it a full year since I've been divorced.
Congratulations.
Thank
It
you.
gets so much more. The longer it is, it's like, oh my gosh. Oh, you forget. Forget you were
Exactly.
married. You're like, oh yeah, I was married.
Yeah. I keep on saying was like he's gone, but he's
He gone from your life.
yes, but I mean he'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Be like, okay. Anywho, but it's the subtleness of it. And
Mhm.
I will be honest, I feel like there's more respect sometimes. Like you don't necessarily, and I'm talking about particularly like Asian men or even like European men.
Mhm.
Um, like they'll approach you, but they'll sort of keep their distance and they're not as aggressive.
Okay.
But the are over here too, and they're just as aggressive
Yeah. I would
still.
think so. I would think so.
But my thought
Are
process is
these
like,
the are these the passport ones
I was
or
about to say that that's what they are, but you're aggressively on my black ass. I'm not your preference. Why are you over here? Why are you talking to me? Why are you and like I'm talking about from like black American, British, black, and like African.
Mhm.
Like when I was in and I accidentally did it where I think it was like it was in Tokyo, but it was Shinjuku.
Mhm.
Girl, I made the wrong turn and I seen a bunch of us in a traditional garb, and you can tell that this is like the red light district, like Tushin.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, I'm like speeding up, walking. Girl, put the long legs in action, and here he. I'm assuming he's Nigerian just from his garb, but he was like, "Sister, where are you from?" And he's like stepping in my way, and I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you American Beauty, like, oh, we love." I'm like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "You're in somebody else's country, not there." And then why are you talking to me? And it was just like, even when I was in another part of Tokyo, and it was like, he was British, but I don't know
Mhm.
his background past that. I just
Mhm.
heard the accent, and obviously you're big and black, so I can tell you're black. And he was like, just, and there's a big crowd of people, and he's like his way through people because I could see him because he was already like, hey, 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 at me, and I'm like, "Ugh, let me just keep on walking because, like I said, I'm a pretty good height difference, so it's not like I can just duck off and
Mhm.
just hide somewhere. Like, there's only so many of the blacks here.
Can't hide, can't escape. Ain't
Right.
too much of
So
us. We stick out.
yeah, so I'm like trying to walk faster, and he caught up, and he was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Are you lost? Or are you looking for someone?" I'm like, "I'm looking for someone." He's like, you found him." I was like, wrong answer, full head. I was like, "Get."
These niggas don't stop.
It was so, and he's like so loud, and then you're trying to step in my way, and like it's like I said, it's tight, so you're pushing other people out the way, and I'm
Mm,
like, I literally had to like dip off, and it's like happened like a few other times, and I'm like, girl, I've been here for like a month and a half, and I'll like that's not my only interaction with men, but the most aggressive ones have been hands down, and
they
I'm
just
like,
do it all over
the
the place.
entitlement.
The entitlement is, I was thinking, because we were speaking earlier and you said, y'all, I guess y'all get a lot more world news than we do over here.
Hmm.
But I was, everything that's happening in Kenya right now.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, again, I've been watching a lot of videos about moving abroad, especially to the continent. And I noticed that a lot of the men want to move to Kenya, white men too,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking they're fighting because they're so poor. They don't
Hmm.
like South Africa, but oh, I love Kenya. Is it because they're so poor that you can go there with a penny and think you can just take advantage of these women? Because I find that a lot of the passport bros that try to claim they're not passport bros move to Kenya. And then they say, oh, I don't like South Africa, it's too Americanized. And then it made me think, because maybe in South Africa you can't just come up to somebody and think they're gonna get with you because you got some money and you could probably feed them.
Hmm. Yeah, and the
So
word travels. Like I'm pretty sure South Africa, they have the infrastructure where they have a bunch of good cell phone service, TikToks and stuff like that. And you're gonna get that news sooner
yeah,
or later.
yeah,
You're gonna get that news. Like
yeah,
if you speak in English, you're gonna get that news sooner or later. Just like the Brazilians, I feel like that's where it started. The
yeah,
Brazilians got that news, and then South America, and then I think it's now starting to hit Africa specifically.
yeah. Because I find it weird, especially like I said, it's not just the black ones.
Hmm.
It's a lot of white ones too. And I'm like,
Hmm.
you wouldn't be able to find nobody in your regular thing because you look weird, you act weird, and all of this. But you go to Kenya and you find you a wife, and then you
Yeah.
go and try to take her bait. It's just it's always some weird something when
Hmm.
I see a
Yeah.
man married to a Kenyan woman.
Hmm. And you
Mm,
can't tell me what you really like about her. You just say what you dislike about women from your own background or your own
yep.
culture or ethnicity or whatever. Even here in Japan, the women have a name for them, like it's like loser back home.
I think I've heard that. I might have
Yeah.
heard it on. I might have heard it on. What is it? That dating abroad show. I
Hmm.
think I heard
Like 90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, losers back home,
Yeah.
and then you go and you marry these women and have babies with them, and you treat them like indentured servants.
Pretty much.
It sucks. So let me ask you, since you're there, what does your support system look like? You're
Um.
away from your family, your
Mhm.
friends. Like, what does that look like? And like, how do you build friendships while you're abroad?
Good question. So, by the way, my nails was $27. Feet and
Damn.
hands. I just thought about that. $27. So yes, but
I wish I can't get a nail fixed for $27.
listen, you can't even have a child. I was like, you don't have to tell me, and it's just the base price. Japan, I think for these was like, and for your feet, it was like $45.
In total for everything?
Yeah, for
Wow.
yellow. And like they put like this little gel, like they don't do like acrylic like that. They put like a gel
Mm-hmm.
polish, and they have like this little wand that has a black light on it. So your whole hand isn't exposed to the UV light, and it hardens it, and then they paint over it.
Oh wow.
But it's like some type of special gel to like make your nails hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the best thing ever. And it levels itself out. So they don't buff over it again and all that stuff. They just paint over it like regular nail polish, and it gives it like
A
that little
coat.
bump.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it's like evens itself out just one swipe, one or two swipes, and then they paint over it. And
Wow.
they're
And we thought we were
that's the nail.
advanced. Go ahead,
But
continue.
it's easy. Okay, so friends. Um I do have more of a friend connection through like Exodus Summit.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing with Exodus Summit, after they have their, it's like their virtual meeting. So for example, if you're a woman with kids, or you have an animal, or you want to have residency like in Mexico or somewhere else, they'll have rooms where they'll break off,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman that's spearheading it, the professional, other women will come into her group, and then you'll pretty much, it's like a domino effect. So they'll even have groups. So they have groups in all the major cities in, I think it's only the US, but they may have some in like Mexico because there are a lot of them there. But
Okay.
it's like the same thing for Vietnam. So they had a big meetup. There was like 80 of us in
Mm-hmm.
the city, in Hoi An. And we had groups from there, and then there's a group that's in Thailand. There's a group that's in pretty much all of Southeast Asia, and pretty much we meet up through there, and I'll text somebody and be like, hey, here I am, I'm coming here, I'm coming there. And they do like a bigger meetup, so people just don't talk one-on-one necessarily. They're trying
Mm-hmm.
to group people in to keep the community going.
Community, yeah.
Yes.
To build community, I get it. Especially
Yeah.
if you're gonna be, it's great to be able to access. You said it's like 27,000 of y'all. That's a
Hmm.
lot. That's great. But like really focused in on, like you said, if people have children, if people have dogs, things that y'all have in common, if y'all
Hmm.
live in the same vicinity, it would be a lot better to have you in a group with people who live in your vicinity than you're in Asia and this person
Hmm.
is in Mexico, like you said, or
Hmm.
Brazil or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So for me, because I stayed in Vietnam for so long, and this is why I was suggesting to you on the phone that there's so many women that's in Vietnam, and it's so
Mhm.
easy to stay there. Um, that I have like a couple of close friends that I've met even just from there. Like they're like sisters to me.
Okay.
So be I wasn't expecting it to happen that fast, but I am more than happy. I'm ecstatic. And it's almost like this is the part that I do want to explain. Um, when you do make that move, even when you're
Mhm.
making that transition, there's going to be some people who they don't believe that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want people to take that as a negative thing, because this is something that you're doing for yourself. So
It's
it
not
doesn't
about
matter.
yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if they don't believe that you're going to do it. It doesn't matter if they're going to support you. It doesn't matter if they're trying to scare you out of doing it. I feel like if you think about, well, if I leave this situation, just imagine the tribe that I can create. Imagine me finding a friend that is as good as a person as I am.
Mm.
Imagine people that I can just talk to and get free business advice. Like I started being friends with people who has like all this access and all this just auntie living in like the penthouse type of situation. And I would have never thought that my country self would be like over here with like the rich aunties, and listening to their conversation and being welcomed in and being like, hey, you should try this, or you should try that, or you should this, that, and the other. And it's just a free flow of information also.
Yeah.
And
No
you,
gatekeeping.
that's a very good way of putting it. Yes, exactly. There is no gatekeeping. Yeah.
All right. So I gotta. What would you say to other Black men or women who would think about leaving the U.S.?
Um, I think it's really important to really think to yourself and understand why you want to leave. It's
Mm,
not about anybody else.
yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Like that's why I sort of started my story off with, everything sort of fell apart, but everything was coming together. Like all
Mm-hmm.
of these relationships that disconnected and bridges were burnt, that gave me freedom instead of mourning that. It gave me like, hey, you don't have to worry about what's going on over here anymore.
Yeah.
You can worry about yourself. So I think that's one of the very big things because you're going to be by yourself. Don't mean you need to be lonely, but you're going to be by yourself. But you choose what you want to eat every night. You choose what you do every day. You choose when you wake up, when you go to sleep. You choose where you stay. You choose what you do every day. You don't have to converse with somebody. You don't have to answer to somebody. Like you literally have this freedom to even understand like what you want. Like there's so many things that you can do to even help yourself and build yourself. So for example, I got introduced to what they called it's like a color analysis type of situation, but they will do it from like head to toe. So they can tell you what hair shape looks the best for you, what color your glasses frame, everything from shoes, everything. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, for me, by the time I do settle down, I'm like, I'm gonna get like the whole entire treatment done, everything. Like I need to know what I need done. I'm gonna go to a stylist. I'm gonna go to someone that can draw out like custom pieces. Go to Vietnam and have them make a whole entire closet specifically for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when are you gonna do that in the States? When is that ever? Can you imagine how much that would cost? And even the wait time, even if
I
you could
saw
afford it.
this girl. I think she was in Japan. I watched her. She's, a little, but she's Australian. She's a rich girl. And
Mhm.
she went and got like two boots made. Like boots, like they made it. She designed it. She told them what she wanted. And I
Mhm.
believe she was talking about like it was like $90.
Yeah.
Handmade boots. She was
Yeah.
like, it took like 4 days. I was like, what? And
Yeah.
then I remembered what you had told me about the custom clothes.
Mhm.
So you're telling me over there, they have something that AI or something that
No, they're
analyze.
actual professionals.
Oh, they're professionals that
Mhm.
analyze you and tell you the hairstyle, the color. If you need to lose 5 more pounds, what?
Yeah, they'll
Like,
tell you, yeah, they'll scan your skin, tell you they can pre-predict where you're going to get wrinkles. If you have any internal sun damage after your top layer of your skin, like all the things, honey, all the things. Like they can take care of you real good. Like even with like laser hair removal surgery, that's way cheaper there. Like especially Thailand, Malaysia, they're battling between being number one and number two for
mm.
medical treatment throughout the entire world.
So you're telling me that you can. Oh my gosh.
She was like, wait a minute.
And literally like the
Mm.
word, and I made a couple clips about this recently from one of our videos. I'm really into us being selfish on purpose
Oh,
and be
yeah. Mhm.
selfish as hell. Like you said, you
Be
could pick
vain.
where you want to. If I want to sleep till 2 in the afternoon, I can sleep till 2 in the afternoon. This
Hmm.
is what I want to eat. I don't have to worry about what you want, what this person thinks. I can just trans
Hmm.
fucking form into the baddest bitch ever.
Yeah. Yes. And then you have time to think about it. You literally have time to think about it, to develop the person that you want to be. And I
Mm,
feel like a lot of people don't necessarily it's like you got to get out of that mindset, especially
We
when you
don't have the
leave.
time to think
Mhm.
about the time. We don't have the
Yeah,
time.
everything is a rush, and you don't necessarily like I said before, like you don't know what you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and the more you travel, and I also don't like it when people say like, "Oh, you're not travel," like in a condescending way, because it's like, what times do Americans really have to take off?
Yeah.
And you obviously you're spending all this money because you're trying to be like, I'm trying to live with luxury, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to get this excursion, I'm trying to, when it's like when you live in the lifestyle, like even my day to day, and this is only because I'm more in a sabbatical state for this 3 months in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wake up around 12, and which is always like a constant for me, but I'll wake up around 12, go get coffee, and then I'll probably figure out where I'm gonna go. Usually go to a museum. Um, Even now they have the World Expo, so I
Mm-hmm.
do go to the World Expo for like half the day, and then depending on what I want to eat, I'll end up maybe at a bar or a shisha spot, or actually go somewhere where robots serve you your food and stuff like that. And I'll just sort of like just walk around and see what's happening. And, a big part of my day is sort of like walking around and exploring, because I also sort of look out for, oh, are they renting some places out? Are they not renting some places out? Like, who is actually here physically? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it just the local population? Like, how many people actually do speak English? How many classes? How many universities do they have? So there's a lot of things to sort of consider, especially like for me, it's me slow traveling, because it's also, they call it dating a country, to
Okay.
see if you wanted to invest there
Stay
and
longer,
or
invest. Yeah.
yeah, or like potentially live there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That is freaking amazing. So basically, you live your life the equivalent of a posh white woman over here.
On a budget, but yes.
On a Listen, you telling me you get up at noon, you do all of this, you
Oh
go to the
yeah, oh
cafe.
yeah.
How much is coffee?
um Here in Japan, it's like maybe like 3 to like 4, maybe 5 at the most, at the very most. But you got to get one of those really, really fancy ones, like that's like a cocktail, like, an espresso martini. But Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
it's like 75 cents to $2.
Wow.
And they be making egg coffee. Now,
Where do they make egg coffee?
if you're a coffee connoisseur,
I'm a coffee connoisseur. That's why I asked.
you need to go to Vietnam. You're going to ask the barista to marry you, okay?
Hmm. It's like that.
It's I think it's just Asian culture, but specifically Vietnamese people. Like, you're going to be drinking calories. Like, their drinks be drinking. No
Mm.
matter if it's cocktails, it don't matter if it's coffee, it don't matter if it's tea. Like, everything I've ate or consumed in Vietnam, presentation, like they love their sweets. They
Mm-hmm.
are so like high tea. Like the little breakfast at Tiffany's. They got like boutique places where
Uh-huh.
you can have high tea with the pastries, like pastries. And that shit will be like, for the four of us, after we paid the tab, it was like, together, I think it was like $15. High tea.
High tea, four
High
people,
tea.
$15. Wow. Okay. One of our members want to know, does she have a favorite place that she's lived in Asia so far? That's a good question.
I don't think it's fair right now. Some places I have been to, but that's when I was in the service, and that was like
You didn't really get
over
to
11
experience
years
it.
ago.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. Like, I can say that I do like Japan. I'm about to show my true colors.
Go ahead. We here for it.
When they say these Japanese men are shy, they not shy. They're
They
not shy.
bold with it.
It's like cause there's different types,
Mm-hmm.
but even between like Tokyo is like I guess the New York of
Okay.
Japan, and Osaka is like
Okay.
Atlanta, like it's more of a country relaxed vibe.
Okay. Okay.
But it's like the stature, the voice, be voicing,
Mm.
and it's also disrespectful. It's just like this respectful distance that they give you, but that eye contact, and like I said, like they're sneaky. They'll be like, "Oh, you just looked at me, so I'm gonna walk over here and I'm gonna sit 2 tables down, but I'm facing you. And while you
Oh.
try to eat and take your little break and drink your milkshake at Shake
Uh-huh.
Shack, every time you put your mouth on that straw, I'm gonna be watching your mouth." And it's like,
These
and he's
Asians
just like,
are sneaky.
and he's like, hmm. He's like,
Oh my gosh.
hmm. He's like, "You speak English?" I was like, "Why?" And he's like, took that as his invitation, come to sit down at the table and be like, "Well, I was just wondering because you just seem to just be sitting by yourself, and it's okay to have one-on-one conversation with people every now and again." He's like, "I need to practice my English, and you know, who's not to say how long you're going to be here?"
Oh, so you planning my time.
Like, but but here's the thing that you have to be aware of. In Japanese culture, the third date, you're together.
Oh, so you can't go out more than twice.
They're like, "Oh," especially if you're like together after 6 months. The guy's like, "Oh, I already got a here's some places where you want to stay. I
Really?
already looked it up. What
You
do you
are,
want to do?"
I didn't figure it out for us.
Right, and I'm just like, see, why don't I'm like, let's just not all with the girl.
Okay. Well, one
He
of
was fine.
our Michael asked the
Hmm.
question. I don't know if it I don't think it's true because why would you want to come back here? Michael says sounds like so he can speak English because he wants to come back to America.
Well, if he's speaking good English, he's already been in America, so usually they'll already be there, born and
That too.
raised, and there's no saying that he was, because he said he was half. He was Chinese and Japanese,
Okay.
but he is American.
Yeah,
So a
okay.
lot of them that speak
They're
good American,
American.
like he
Yeah.
even when I was like, trying to be smart with him. Oh, he's like, "Oh, okay, you're a feisty one." That's why
Mm.
I say he got up and he took that as an invitation to walk over.
Yeah. I don't think people really realize how much like the Asian culture they go back and forth.
Hmm.
Like a lot, like they go back and forth. Like we should really go back and forth to the
Yeah.
continent or whatever. But like
Hmm.
they will be born here and go and be there for a couple of years and come back and go and come back because it's just how it's just the vibe. Why would
Hmm.
I get the world likes to think that we're so frick that this country is so freaking amazing, but
Yeah.
like you said, once you experience other things and you realize that, I don't
Hmm.
have to be stuck here in the 9 to 5 bus hustle, can't even afford rent, can't afford food, can't
Yeah.
afford to, don't even have time, like you said, to like enjoy your life.
Or even afford water. I went to the expo and it's on an island. They made
Hmm.
an island for it or whatever. And they have little like their version of Wawa and stuff here.
Hmm.
And Tell me why the water is exactly the same. Like they got like these liter bottles and they're
Mm-hmm.
like 85 cents in American money. And in these theme parks, the the water costs the same amount. I'm like, if I was at Six Flags, this water be $7 and it'll be like that big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Okay.
like that price gouging isn't necessarily a thing either
Mm-hmm.
that I've noticed since I've been gone.
Okay. Well, guys, I want y'all to drop y'all questions in the chat because I only got two more questions. We
Mhm.
do have somebody that came up. But I'm gonna read my question first. And Michael, if you would like to come up, since it's your first time on the channel, I need you to um I need you to open your camera so I can see who I'm seeing. Okay. Just to make sure you're not a weirdo perv, because you know that's happened on the channel before. You could close it back if you want to, but I just need to make sure. Okay, so he did that. So my two, I have two questions.
Mhm.
I think you kind of answered it, but so the first one is how has your life changed like since you moved abroad? And the next one, maybe you want to answer them together. What do you know now that you wish you knew before moving?
Um, to do it, I wish I use my credit cards more smarter to get points. That's one thing I feel like nobody talks about. Um, and what was your other question?
Um, how has your life changed the most since moving abroad?
My stress levels have gone down significantly.
I would
And not
imagine.
just my stress levels, but even like being self-conscious about, just feeling guilty of like, I'm not working hard enough. I'm not doing this, my life that, this is going on, that is going on. And it's like that vicious, toxic cycle
Cycle.
of,
Yeah.
volunteering.
Working
It's not just,
ourselves to death.
yeah, but then also volunteering
To
myself to be the pack mule and to save my family, save my husband, save this, save that. Like I was going to get my self-worth off of my accomplishments and helping other people and other people showing me gratitude for the work that I put in. So my stress levels have gone down significantly. And girl, like it even helped my weight go down significantly. Like how I sleep, like my skin cleared up significantly. Like I barely use, I mean, the skincare here is popping, I'm not gonna lie, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it because I get to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to, the anxiety that builds up in you. Cause like for me, it builds up right here in my
Yeah.
chest. And it's like the most horrible, like it sticks with you for like a few days, like that, cause your muscles combine. So they
Mm-hmm.
also have to release. So I think that is like one of the biggest things. Like my stress levels have gone down significantly. Um, I'm happier. Like even when my dad would call me every now and again, he was like, "You sound happy, like you really do," and I was like, "Thank you." So it's just like the stuff like that. It's just like people just envision in your mind what you want to do, what you want next, what do you want, how do you want your life to look day to day, how do you want your life to look.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up Michael right now, but like
Mhm.
the rest of y'all, drop a comment in the chat if you want to. The link is also in the description. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe. Y'all already know the vibe. Hello, Michael. You can unmute.
Hi Jovi, hi Malaceo. How you ladies doing today?
We're
I'm
doing
good.
great.
Well, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you, Malaceo, that you found happiness in Japan. I could tell you're very happy every day. You're not worrying what's happening in the front and back every day in America, because I think this is very important, right? Because we live in a global economy in the 21st century, and to hear your story, that how, if I understand this correctly, you probably could correct me, Malaceo, or elaborate more. Yeah, in America, it's a very fast-paced, stressful country, 24/7. And I do know that, especially for Black Americans. Every day they're always in a fight and flight mode every day in America. But whereas like when I'm seeing that more Black Americans are moving abroad, they're feeling more, secure. They don't have to worry about being like in a fight or flight mode every day. As well as the food is healthy abroad. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately in America, and I'm sure you know this, in America it's by design
Yeah.
Hmm.
because of the countries, because, America was founded off of slavery since the beginning of, several centuries back. And the effects still continue. And what's very interesting to me in the last maybe 10, 15 years, you probably could attest to it, that I'm seeing more Black Americans considering moving abroad. They already moved abroad, or they're not sure about moving abroad, but they have to consult with their family members, kids, because I know there's like a lot of disagreements. I understand that family members don't want to move abroad because they have close friends and relatives, but whereas someone who feels like he needs to move abroad, is good for his health and good for his family's health. And as well as because I'm not sure, are you ladies familiar with Philip Scott, the host of the African Diaspora News channel?
Yes. Yes.
I
Okay,
think so.
yeah. So Philip Scott promotes, traveling abroad, moving abroad. However, he's very particular, which countries he wants his brothers and sisters, to move or travel abroad because of the experience in America with racism, as well as like hearing his brothers and sisters, encountering um microaggressions or racism in some other foreign countries. And I understand Phil is very concerned because he wants his brothers and sisters to be happy
Mm-hmm.
wherever they go, where they travel. It's just like he doesn't want his brothers and sisters, to narrate the same experience that they had in America. So I was wondering, like, how would you encourage like Philip Scott to say it's okay to travel to like different countries abroad? But I know he emphasizes the African continent because to him it's
Hmm.
more liberating. Like he doesn't have to worry about looking left, looking right, looking front, looking back.
Hmm.
But whereas he noticed like in Asia, Europe, Latin America, he always has to be concerned about the racism. Even though the racism is very covert, but sometimes the covert can be very contagious as the overt,
Hmm.
Okay.
So with that, like I said, like I sort of mentioned, it also depends on how you take it.
right?
So I sort of said it earlier where I had a friend and me and her was FaceTiming, and she could sort of see people that was walking by just sort of like looking at me, and she's like, "Oh, they would get on my nerves." For me, I'm like I like me being here and her being in the States, that look is going to transfer as,
It
"Oh,
means
look at."
something different.
Yeah, versus you got to be aware also, like when you do come to a country and it's more homogenous
Mm-hmm.
and they don't see other Black people. And like I said, I'm pretty tall in stature. Like I'm taller than half the men in the country when I come
Mm-hmm.
in there. And then I'm Black, and then I have locks. And, like you got your nails, you got this, like you're going to get looks in particular. But I do think that there should be freedom for Black people to go where they would like to go, just
Yeah.
out of curiosity. Because I feel like Black people can do anything.
Right,
Like, let's not say that you don't have one place in one area in the world and then you have a place somewhere else, but it's also going back to volunteering to pack mule. You
Mm.
don't have to volunteer yourself to pack mule and to go back to Africa and build up Africa as if these people aren't capable of doing it. I'm just saying, like, especially when we have all these psychological issues that's passed down through 400 plus years
Yeah.
of slavery, Jim Crow, and all of that. Like, that stuff mentally messes with you.
Exhausting.
And it's genetic also. So it's getting passed on. So anything that anybody could do to just move out of that, then I feel like you need to do it in what is for you is for you.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the same path in life. And once again, like even with friends and family, like I understand to a certain extent that for other people it might be harder, because if you do find yourself being still close with your family and friends, versus for me, it's like this life chose me. All my shit fell apart. So it was easy for me to be like, bye guys.
Right.
But when you do have those connections, it's also maybe those connections are staying there so they can sort of see how you're living and your happiness, and they can see it through you directly,
And be
not just you
inspired.
telling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's real, especially it's real when it's somebody you know and not just some random person, or you're just watching a YouTube video, you don't know her background. But if that's
Hmm.
your cousin, if that's your sister, if that's your
Hmm.
homegirl from high school, it's like it's real.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a whole mindset of, oh, I'm just going to get up and move somewhere. Like for me, I'm just going from country to country. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this for a couple of years. So who's to say where I'm going to end up and finally, you know, build a home base at? I
Mm,
don't know. But I think there is like a lot of things to be considered. Like also with you could also help places like Africa without physically being there if you're investing in property and in real estate.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of things, and once again, you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know type of
Yeah.
situation. So
Right.
there's a lot of different ways, especially the more involved technology is, that Joey, we're probably gonna have to talk about that later. But
Mhm.
being at this World Expo, y'all just listen, they shaking the table. Like the next 10 years, I'm telling you, this this shit, they don't need people to work. Not like they used to.
Yeah.
Like they are way, way past it. So things are moving and changing so fast. So the main reason I sort of say that is not to create scarcity or, oh, like when I got, what do I got to do? What am I, like that, being scared or that fear? It's innovation. It's creativity. It's creativity in you building your own life. Because instead of saying, oh, those that work is my support, when you change your mind, be like, that work is my shackle.
Mhm.
What can I do? What else is there for me to do? What
Yeah.
do I want to do? Because I am a firm believer. If you do what you want to do, truly, that's what you're meant to do because you're going
Yeah.
to be happy. And
Yes.
it's going to, life is going to provide at a certain extent. Don't go crazy and just jump off the cliff. Don't
Right. Like, in
don't
other
do
words, like you
that.
need to like plan like gradually, like over
Hmm.
time, because it takes a lot of work planning financially,
Hmm.
applying for visas, as well as like going to the embassy. A lot of steps to really
Hmm.
um, plan ahead because because I just noticed that when some people move abroad, I know some people move with intuition. They move very quickly, and then when they move
Hmm.
abroad, they didn't realize that it's not what they initially expected. And so that's why I think you're right. It's very important to plan ahead, meet with like experts, consultants, because they know the country's
Hmm.
government system very well, how the
Mhm.
bureaucracy works. And this is speaking about bureaucracy in Japan, because I know Japan. I've been to Japan once, and this was 21 years ago. I'm not sure if Japan has changed when it comes to um, expat demographics, because the last time I went
Hmm.
to Japan, 2004, it was mostly homogenous. Yeah,
Yeah,
population
it still is.
still is. And so
Yeah.
this brings to my question, right? Because although I'm seeing more, black expats moving to different countries in higher
Mm.
numbers, it may not be significant, but it's growing every year. And I know it's going to create an exodus, for Black Americans leaving America for good.
Mm.
And so my question is this, because I know in Japan there's still, from what I've seen in like on other people's YouTube channels, some Black Americans have reported mixed reactions to Japan, or they're very ambiguous because Japanese people are very, I notice,
Mm.
very reserved about their racism because they do it through accents or movements. And so I would
Mm.
like to inquire: do you think Japan needs to have creative policies to make the expat environment more welcoming, like implementing an what is it, anti-racism policy, just like in like
Mhm.
just like in America, how like in America we have EOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commissions, civil rights, laws. Do you think Japan needs to implement that in case Japan sees a more influx of expats moving there?
Um, so there's like two different parts of it, like being here. There's the like work side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then anybody that is in any type of foreigner friendly like English education, even like with corporate spaces and stuff, you don't necessarily get that. And there's the other side when you go to places that's way more historical, like Kyoto. Kyoto was Japan's capital before Tokyo.
Right.
So they do have where no foreigners. And that's pretty much because it's like you do not follow Japanese etiquette. But the even the Japanese people said it here in Kyoto. They was like, I mean not in Kyoto, in I'm in Osaka. But
Osaka.
there was like Osaka is different than Japan. I mean, Tokyo. So, for
Mhm.
example, Tokyo, there was like they literally got like a stick up there. Like they are very like, oh, I'm corporate. I'm this. I'm that. Kyoto is like Karen, Japanese Karen
Mm-hmm.
is Kyoto. There was like, you go to Kyoto to have fun, but there was like you might want to just stay in like Osaka, Kobe, like those surrounding areas, and even when you go a little bit more down south, it was like they don't like being there themselves. But when it's a homogenous country and they are sort of trying to still keep certain cultural things intact, because another thing they don't necessarily say is that a lot of the men were trying to solicit and actually touch on the women in Kyoto specifically because it was geishas and they seen them as as
Okay.
so you're groping and grabbing these women in daylight and in front of like other kids. So they are like, instead of pushing the police into it,
Mm-hmm.
culturally they'll be like, the owners of this establishment, you handle it first. And then if you have to call us in, then that's going to be the next step. And they culturally, it's the responsibility of the community first. So that's why
Right.
they put up those no foreigners policies.
Well,
Not saying that it's necessarily right, but also understanding culturally that you it's a caring aesthetic, and then also it's not because you're a foreigner
it's because you,
of
yeah,
how you're acting because you're a
Right.
foreigner.
yeah,
And there's like, there's layers to it. And it's like I say, they're not calling police on people. There's like, hey, you
just
as a
the
community in Japanese culture, you handle
thing.
this
Yeah.
first. You handle it. And
Mm-hmm.
then if we have to step in, then we'll step in. Because they don't want to, because they already got hit really bad when, what do we call it now? The C, the boogeyman of
Okay.
2020.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
When that happened, they were supposed to have the Olympics.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
In
So
2020,
that
right?
decimated.
Right.
Hmm?
2020. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember. Yes.
So that decimated a lot of money that they was trying to get to come in. So now they have the World Expo to sort of like bump that up, but it's also all this tourism coming in. But also, I feel like if you do get that type of energy coming from people, it's just like going from like country to country, like people how will treat you in New
That's what I
York
was thinking.
versus
It's like
Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
versus
versus Middle
California.
America
Right.
versus, it's just people's culture.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And respecting people's culture is like I'm a New Yorker and I don't expect what occurs here to necessarily happen in like Wisconsin. I know it's
Hmm.
going to be some shit if I go to Wisconsin being who I am, right? You got to
Right.
Hmm.
adjust to where you're at. The place doesn't have to adjust to you. You got to be aware of where you are going and not just think I guess that's the or the American mentality that we can just
Yeah.
go anywhere and make people do whatever we want to do, and because we're American. And what you mean I can't just
Right.
Mhm.
grab the geisha? What do you mean I
Yeah,
can't?
they're like, all money ain't good money, and you
I
want to come in
saw
here. Yeah.
somebody.
Exactly.
I saw some guy on the train dancing like it was Brooklyn in Japan, and I was like, "What is happening? Like, we
Y'all,
don't
they don't
go."
speak. When I say these people, it's like they don't speak in like they. It's so quiet. Like, remember when me and you was talking on the phone, Jovi, and
Yeah,
you was like, "You're outside." I'm
I
like,
didn't know. I'm like, "You're
"Yes."
outside."
I'm like, I'm literally right here beside the highway. Like, they are quiet, like dead silent. And for you to go and do something like that, you can go on the train and know to be quiet. Like, you can hear like when the train is trying to stop and the little leather straps and people
Mhm.
are, and you hear like that little stretching of the leather. That's how quiet. So for something like that to be popping off and you go,
And you go and start flipping on the train. I was like, I'm tired of these people. Anyway, Michael, I want to tell you thank you for coming up and for your questions. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Very much, ladies. Like I said, I could tell you, ladies, I could tell that both of you very happy. I like to see happiness. When people, travel abroad because it's good for the health. It
yeah.
increases the life expectancy. And by the way, Malaceo, I'm so glad. I'm pretty sure in Japan has universal healthcare, so that also helps as
Hmm.
well to feel a sense of security, happiness. Because in America, unfortunately, it's a long story, but I'll make it quick. Yeah, the reason in America we don't have universal health care because of, Karen's, Brad, Becky, Thomas, Zen. Um,
Thomas.
right, I'm sure
Yeah.
you ladies understand what I mean because they get
Hmm.
very paranoid when they see like Black Americans are rising economically in the 21st century. And to the Karens, they feel like anger, frustration,
Hmm.
right? And I always tell the Karens, leave Black Americans alone. Let them be happy. I mean, come on, and let Black Americans have their own space, right? Because the Karens feel like they're like, I don't know. It's like they're becoming more like, how do I say this? They're becoming more like Brad. I'll put it this way. They're becoming like Karens are becoming more like are having like more of their masculinity type personality
Hmm.
because their
Aggressive.
days of
It's not
dominating,
passive anymore.
right, of
I don't think
dominating.
it was really ever passive though.
Well, it's both. It's becoming more aggressive, the Karens, right?
Like
Especially
the
like,
physical contact and stuff like that, I think it become a little bit more like physically aggressive versus that passive aggressive
Okay.
hmm
microaggression. Let me say something and like they throw a rock and hide their hands, but then you throw a whole boulder and it's like, what you gonna do about it?
Mm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and right, and it's same for my people. Unfortunately, I call the Asians the Asian Karens because unfortunately, it makes me laugh, but makes a little frustrated because the
Hmm.
Asians feel like since the white Karens are disappearing quickly, so the Asian
Hmm.
Karens feel like they have to take the torch, right?
Mm.
Hmm.
And I always tell the Asian Karens, I said to the Asian Karens, Asian, Ben, hey, Asians, please let Black Americans be happy. They deserve the right to be happy, and they deserve the right
Hmm.
to have forever separation. Because, like I said, you ladies did a lot, for America for several centuries and counting. I'm very thankful for that, and I know you ladies need peace, prosperity,
Hmm.
separation from other groups who are now just being very, ooh, like they seem to can't let go of Black Americans. I'll put it this way, right? And I always tell the Asians,
Hmm.
Hispanics, Jewish people, if they really want to show like solidarity with Black Americans or want to see Black Americans happy, I always tell like the non-Black American groups, cut Black American freedmen, child slavery, a reparations, a check, because they built this country 400 years and counting. And I know appreciation through words is not enough, but appreciation through substance is what's going to get it going and treat Black Americans as whole, like
Hmm.
100%. And I know Asian people, Jewish people, Hispanics know that, but they refuse to do it because they still have this I don't know this how do I say this bias in their DNA, and it's very hard to let go. And I know there's some individuals who are letting go of it, but collectively, it's not there, and that's why I would say that's like in Japan. Like the people who are in Japan, I'm speaking to Japanese. Japanese people, please do not learn from America about being anti-black racist. Please do not, Japanese people, please, because it's not gonna go very well. Japanese people, please. I know Japanese people still to this day have, like you said, are still stuck in this cultural norm of worshiping superiority. So I tell Japanese people, please, please treat Black Americans right, especially Black Americans or Black people in Japan, because the Black people are going to make Japan great, and Japanese people so know this from the bottom of their heart. And only for Japanese people to let go of their anti-Black racism is, like I said earlier, is reparations
All
through
right.
solidarity. Yeah, I don't want to take so much of your ladies' time, but I'm so glad you ladies are having a great time. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Well,
Well, Michael came up with a couple great questions. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got to go outside. Okay, we like to be outside. So Nicole wants to know: has anyone in your family thought about moving? Because, like I said, when it's someone that you know who does it, it makes it real. Or have anyone come to visit you in like the last year? Good question.
Okay, so I've been out not even 6 months yet. My dad is coming out to visit me in Thailand next year. He
Okay.
already like got his stuff booked up or whatever. Um, so I have like 13 cousins. Yeah. And pretty much most of them are like, cuz let me know about these properties. Let me know about where you going next. Let me know, like, cuz now we're the adults.
Mm-hmm.
And we need the family reunions and stuff like that. And but nobody really has kids out of all of us, except for
Yeah.
like two of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, are we gonna be taking these cruises? Like, we'll do a little thing, the old school way of doing a family reunion for our parents and our grandparents and great aunts. We're gonna hit this cruise. And the other year, we're gonna go wherever Lacey at. Like, and that's my nickname, Lacey. But it was
Okay.
like, we going wherever you at. Hey, you in Vietnam? Let us know. You in
Governor
Thailand?
Vietnam.
I have a cousin, girl. I have a cousin, and he all day. That's all he do. All day. Every day. And when I was like, oh yeah, they got retreats for that, and they got all this and that and whatever. And he was like,
That's all you had to settle
really?
down.
Word? You don't have to say nothing. And he's the biggest flake.
He's
So
like,
if
say
he come
less,
in,
say less, say less. That sounds
yes.
like my brother. Say less. Happy.
He's like, in public? In public? I was like, yes. So it's like, it's all just like wherever you go and just trying to, find out and figure out certain things. But yeah, they're they're a little bit on hold now because my youngest cousin, she's getting married
Mhm.
this year. And we don't want to be like, hey, we just gonna ship on out
We out.
while you pay all those bills. It was like, we're gonna wait till next year. And if we head out when your dad head out, then that's just where we're gonna be. We're gonna be in Thailand next year. So
Okay. That's what's up. I want to close up with you, but I just find, I guess I was having some thoughts when Michael was up here, like, because we all know I want to live in South Africa. I think South
mhm,
Africa is dope, but like between what both of y'all were saying, and I think you said it, like
mhm,
it's the like it's the ancestry of the stress, and it goes down from
mhm,
generations. And like I be telling people, like, I just don't want to do it no more. I don't want to fight about it no more. I don't want to
mhm,
argue. I don't want to deal with your microaggressions here no more. I don't even want to die here no more,
mhm. Yeah.
because, and just wherever that may be for you, it doesn't have to be on a continent. It could be, like you said, in Japan. It could be in Brazil. It could be on some
Mm-hmm.
remote, it could be in New Zealand or some remote island I never even heard of, you never even heard of before.
Yeah.
But just as Black people, okay, but
Mm-hmm.
specifically Black women, because
We carry the weight.
yeah, like just being able to say, like, at some point in our lives, to say, or just to feel, and just be able to live, and just be able to be, and not have the burden of the ancestral shit fucking up our DNA. Because like you said, it is DNA, and we've had this, a lot of this stress, a lot of this stuff on us for
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of years now, and we can't sit down. We're anxious, we're having strokes, and we stroking out, we're having
Yeah.
heart attacks, just worried about things that we can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We can't control
Yeah.
we can't control nothing. And I think, especially with what's going on, and everybody's out here protesting, and I think we're just overwhelmingly understanding that, like, we just can't control this shit. But I'm not
No.
giving it my life.
Mm-hmm.
How much of my ancestors have given this whole place their lives?
Yeah. And it's a slap in the face, also, the entitlement. It's
Yeah,
the entitlement for me. It's the audacity for me.
yeah,
It's like, why are you expecting what? So
me to
it's like almost like a child, and you're like, don't you do that. Don't you do that. And you go and do it. And you be like, save me. Like, I think no.
I
I
think
think
not.
no.
I think
And it's
not.
like the outrage, the active outrage that comes from it is definitely telling. And I am like, I already been on this train ever since I was in the service.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been like 10 years in of like disconnecting, even like politically and stuff, but even more so with working and all that other stuff and taking a step back.
Yeah.
It's another thing, if your audience, like, look up cortisol and how stress can initiate that, and
Yeah.
all of the health risk, like your body rejecting itself, alopecia, all that stuff. Is a lot of that is down to stress, cancer, all
Yeah.
that. For
Yeah.
real.
I agree. I agree. We have one more caller.
Mhm.
Margarita, Margarita, sorry girl. I need to see you. You could shut it down. Okay, I just need to make sure you're a real person. If you want to shut it down, you can shut it down. But like, like I told you, I fully get it. Like, that's why I am just so on this right now, getting my
Mhm.
mom out of here, getting my kid out of here, and like, oh my God, I don't have to be here. I don't have to deal with this. I
Mhm.
don't want to fucking die here dealing with,
Yes.
because because I'm stressed about what's happening on the news,
Mhm.
because I'm just every day have to go through the the trauma of being a Black
Yeah.
woman in America.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause that's what it is, the trauma, and just want some part of my life where I can just be, and I don't have to worry, about this or that or whatever. So I'm about to put you up now. We trying to wrap up, because remember, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning where she's at.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Hi,
Hey,
hey, my God, what's up?
hey. But I want to, Jovi, get them out. My mom got a UN contract when I turned 13 in Ghana. I'm Ghanaian American, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but crazy story, she didn't even tell me. She was like, "We're going to visit Ghana." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so Americanized. Always on the East Coast my whole entire life." I was like, "Oh, I'm visiting Ghana. I'm meeting my family." And she was like, my mom was like, "Oh, y'all living here." And I was like, "What? What? What? What?" And then we moved to South Korea, and we moved to South Africa and Japan. And let me tell you right now, the reason I'm on camera is because I'm packing my stuff. My dad was like, because I have lupus now. I came in the States for college and got lupus. My dad was like, nah. I'm 31 on Wednesday. And he was like,
Okay.
nah. nah.
Happy
We give you
birthday.
up. Thank you. But he was like, literally, my dad's on a private flight right now to keep me. He's like, I'm coming to Las Vegas, picking you up. We going to South Africa because this is ridiculous. You're getting skinny. I don't like it. And but like living outside the States changes your mindset overall. My first time back in the States visiting my dad. My dad still lived in Maryland at the time, right? I felt different. I was not connecting with people the same way I was before. I was like, y'all are just like lame. Like I'm over here like doing nothing. I'm over here like traveling and stuff. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, we're going to the mall. I'm like, the mall? And that's what y'all doing. Everyone's stressed out, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, but I was in like Heathrow Airport, like in the UK, like a week ago. This doesn't seem like fun. Like, but like getting your family out, do it. Go anywhere. Like literally, my dad's over here. Like I still got the house in Ghana. We can go out. Where are we going? Like we're all trying to leave right now, like collectively, right? But like, I just believe like when you leave the States, especially like granted, tell your children you're leaving the States. Please, that's traumatizing yourself. But like the way I was like,
your friends, girl, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Girl, you
my aunt was like, I was like, oh my God, I'm in Girl Scouts. No, I'm gonna go back and tell them plantain chips. And my aunt was like, who's Girl Scout? In what country? I was like, what you mean? I was like, Maryland. She said, oh no, girl, you ain't going back. I was like, what? Huh? Excuse me? And my mom was my mom was traveling at the time, right? So like, she came back, I was ready on the couch, like, what, Patricia? What you mean? I was like, what does it mean? Like, why am I still here? Like, what? Excuse me? And I was so upset. But like, tell your kids. But like, I mean, like, I recently had like a friend of mine pass away, but like he was like an older friend, like my mom's friend, but like he literally would like fly into like Heathrow Airport just to have lunch with me. Like when I had like an 8-hour layover. Like when you have people like that in your life, that's like some crazy stuff, you know?
Your life, it doesn't happen to this shit.
It's not. And I'm over here like, yo, Black women in America, when I came back for college, I was like, yo, like, why are we struggling this hard? Like, this is hard. Like, this is not the life.
Struggle is real.
It's real. And even like listening to like you guys talk. By the way, Jovi, you having this live while I'm packing. I was like, I know you lying. I know you lying. I'm the girl. I'm taking pictures and sending you on your DM. I'm literally packing up my stuff right now. I know you lying, but like it was just I was matured in a way that wasn't like grown. Like I matured in a way that I was like grown in a way of like I had the sense of the world. I could travel to any country. I can speak like 5 different languages. I was like in a way that was different. My little brother speaks like 10 languages right now. He moved to Ghana when he was like 6 with me, right? And I'm like going through like random airports, Morocco, all this stuff. Like at like 14 years old, my little brother, like during Ramadan, figuring stuff out, you know, like, but that changes you as a person, and it's so good, and it's so, but it's like you get like a sense of self, also like sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
Everyone treats you differently in a good way. Like going to Italy when I had my 21st birthday in Italy. Them Italian men, they be like, "Oh, mama." I'm like, "Oh,
I heard about Italian men.
Oh, they the worst." I was like, "Oh no, oh my gosh, I'm a child of God." Please don't. But I never had but even being in the States, people like you got like self-esteem on you. I'm like, yeah, because like there was no reason for me not to have that. Ever, you know. I used to go like I'd be like I want fish and chips. I go like book a flight to like England or like Ireland for like a weekend. I go on Thursday after like classes from college, come back on a Monday. That's crazy work. But I was like nothing to anybody in my life, and that exposes your life like just differently. It exposes everybody to something different.
Yeah.
But also like don't stick in one place either. Like just travel around, have your home base and travel around.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
agree.
I know it's a little ridiculous. I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. But I said private flight. I was like, I'm up. Like I'm awake. I got groceries yesterday. I'm like, y'all need like potatoes. I got 5 pounds of potatoes, but no potatoes. Like, but like I just like traveling. I think like my mom, as much as I hated her when I was like 13, right? Like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. It changed my life for the better.
Yeah.
And like even like career wise, like I can walk into any room at any time because you have to like be able to like step up and do your thing in any country at any time and whatever. And it's changed. I was like 18 working for like Newsweek, like a full job, and they're like, "How'd you get the job?" I'm like, "Because I walked in the room, like I knew what was good."
Yeah.
It changed you. And by the way, Jovi, by the way, your daughter going to boarding school, A1, day one, do it. Yes. I'm the only one of my siblings who didn't go to boarding school because of the Ghana trip, whatever. But all of them are successful. My mom went to boarding school at like 6 years old. Onward, craziness, right? But
Yeah.
successful, but like that's just like, but it just changes your whole like you become like an independent person, you become worldly, you become knowledgeable, and you become like you don't become complacent.
Yeah.
You always know something better.
I agree.
But yeah,
All right.
thank you for having me on.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much for coming up. Okay, Valencia, I'm gonna let you go. So,
Okay.
do you have any last words to the audience? And don't forget, y'all, she is actually a beauty schooler and be in the chat. She don't speak a lot,
Yes.
but she's
No,
in
I
the
don't.
chat.
I be up in like in little bushes and stuff, like. Because sometimes y'all be swinging and banging in no comment sessions. I'm like,
I be looking like, what the hell?
and as you can see, I like to watch that shit from a distance. I'll be there, but I'll be over there. But far as what I have to say, like the guy said on Waterboy, you can do it. Like, you got to believe in yourself, and if you got to make those sacrifices, you got to make those sacrifices. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, people be like, "Oh, it's a dream," but
Make it
dreams
real.
are, when you daydream, there's manifestation.
You make it real. Yeah. Like you see all that crap in the back. We got to pack it as soon as we get off of here. Like she's going to Brazil. Make it real. It sound like
Yes.
it doesn't sound real until you make it what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Especially like leaving the States.
Yeah.
It's like what they said in New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you got to do. Like, you got to start doing your resources. Also, use Chat GPT. If you have a question, like, what do I need to know? This is my situation. I am a woman. I make this much money. I need to make this much money to get out. I need to do this. I need to do that. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what are the next steps that I need to do?
Yeah.
Like, here, like I said,
They'll
like
give
the
you a
world
plan.
is changing. The
Yes.
world is changing. And
Yes.
it's gonna spit out information. Cause once again, you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
Exodus Summit is in October. So they don't really even sell tickets until like I believe the beginning of October, because it's like maybe mid-October.
Okay.
If not a little bit earlier than that. But still, you can hit the ground running. Like for me, Exodus Summit was more of a connection type of thing because I did so much research before. I was already ready. It was just confirmation for me. But at least I feel like that's the best way. They have Gemini and they have Chat GPT. Type this stuff in. Do I
They'll
need to
give
get
you
a
a
job?
plan.
Yeah, it'll help you. It'll give you some information and a place to start.
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds crazy, but all you need is a starting point at the end of the day.
Yeah. All right, girl. Well, I thank you so much for coming up. I didn't do it yet, but I'm gonna put your YouTube channel in the description with also a link to Exodus Summit so the girls can start looking into it and get some information on their own. But I appreciate you so much, especially for staying up because I know it's late, but you're a night owl, but I know it's late.
I'm about to go out.
Because you go outside, y'all. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And
no problem.
I'll send you a message later. I appreciate you for coming up.
All right.
Thank
you.
Of course. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was freaking amazing. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. Trust me, it was a lot of things happening back in the background, but I was like, we have to do this video because I wanted it to be real. You know, I want us to understand. I know it might seem scary, you know, leaving everything that we know, and just taking a risk like that. But like, I really feel like, I think Malaceo said, like your cortisone levels, like the stress, like the anxiety, you know, and I've said this before, like now it's turned up because of Orangina. We get it. But even when it's not turned up, it's still unhealthy for us, right? There's a reason that we have been leaving this place. I keep saying, I don't know if it's God, the sun, the moon, I don't know what, but somebody is telling us that we don't have to. You know, the stress and the burden of being here and dealing with everything that people think we ain't have no choice to but to deal with. We don't fucking actually have to, right? They're trying to make us do black jobs. We don't have to. Malaceo just told y'all that she lives off of $1,100 to $15,000, $1,500, not thousand, $100 a month. You know, so many of my ladies, especially you, some of you older ladies, y'all Social Security is more than that. You know, but again, before we get up out of here, because I got some things that I gotta do. I gotta go see my neighbor. Like I said, it was a lot of stuff happening, but I did not want to be late for the live. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and like y'all say, y'all see that mess over there. My boo is going on Wednesday. Okay, she's going on Wednesday, and I'm so excited. We're gonna get rid of her. She out of here. She out of here. You know, we're gonna get. We are so excited. She out of here. We are so excited that she's going. And yeah, please don't forget, we have some donations that I want to shout out, and I appreciate everybody, and I'm going to shout it out. But again, if y'all can donate to the channel, you see the Cash App available, you see the Zelle available. You know, it's a little tight right now, I'm gonna be honest, and I need to pull some things together for her to get up out of here the way she needs to get up out of here. You know, I got a couple of things I need to do. So any donations are thoroughly appreciated. Y'all see my Cash App on the screen. For whatever reason, I think yesterday my Cash App name was wrong. This name is correct. So all donations are thoroughly appreciated. Y'all, I don't care if it's $5, $10. I need to run up $300 by Tuesday. So any assistance, it is thoroughly appreciated. But we do have some other donations via the via the super chats, and I want to tell y'all thank you. Y'all already know, cha-chang chang. We're gonna chang it up, change the rules. So thank you, Amy, for your donation. And also Michael said traveling abroad equals freedom and liberation. Don't I freaking know it? Cha-chang chang for you too, Michael. I appreciate you. So we're going to get out of here, but I'm going to play the video I played at the beginning, just in case if you weren't here when I initially played it. It's just a video of some of the pictures and experiences Malaceo experienced while she was traveling. Okay, so I'm gonna play that, and then we're gonna be out of here. Thank you. Y'all say y'all enjoyed the show. Thank y'all so much. I'm gonna play that, and then we're done. Okay, but as always, I want to tell y'all, I hope you live your life like it's golden, right? Y'all already know, because is no other way to live it. I will probably see y'all later on this afternoon, but thank you so much for all of your support. And yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna add Malaceo's YouTube to the description, and I'm going to add Exit Summit information to the description as well. Okay, so look out for it. And now we're out.